we go to the White House.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump had a lovely visit from the South African president, and he talked about a myriad of things, from how's the weather,
Okay.
how the wife and kids,
All right.
and what about that white genocide going on in your country?
Hold up.
Well, the South African president responded with, "What are you talking about, my guy?"
Notice this. I feel like I'm taking crazy pill.
Trump answered with, "You know what?
No. No.
Let's take a look at that wonderful beam footage."
Wait a minute.
Damn.
What the fuck?
I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this, Trump is literally roasting a head of state, one sit down at a time.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
But it's what's next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jazz Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Thursday. The whole situation with South Africa, you know, the white South Afrikaners who came over here last month, earlier this month, and the whole so-called faux outrage behind it, you know. You got media shooting their mouths off going, well, you know, why is it double standard? Why the double standard? Why do you have you don't have a problem with white South Afrikaners coming to America, but yet you have a problem with 15 million illegals flooding the border under dementia? Why are you such a bigot? And then, of course, we just had the other day with a Democratic Senator Tim Kaine going up against Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, and Marco Rubio roasting his ass because Kaine kept on bringing up race, and Marco's like, "What are you talking about, my guy? I never brought it up. You got a problem with it." And now we come to this. President Trump had a lovely visit from the South African president, and he talked about a number of things. You know, how do you like DC? You know, what's going on in your life? How's the weather? How the wife and kids? And then, of course, Trump said, well, you know, also, what about that genocide you got going on in your own country there, with South African farmers, white farmers? He's like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. What is your problem? Trump said, well, let's take a look at the lovely beam footage. And then literally all hell broke loose. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Trump makes South African president watch video evidence of threats to white farmers. Oh, he went on a roasting spree. President Donald Trump meeting Wednesday with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa began cordially, but when Ramaphosa protested against claims of genocide, Trump turned on the video. Yes, the video showed the radical leader Julius Malema and other black political figures addressing rallies, chanting slogans such as "Kill the farmer, shoot to kill." The video also shows threats to seize white farm-owned land, and a large memorial of murdered farmers featured over 1,000 crosses along the roadside. Ramaphosa had begun by avoiding the issue, saying instead he wanted to focus on trade, investment, and efforts to promote peace around the world. It was South African journalists in the room who demanded that Trump answer for his claims about genocide and his refugee program for white Afrikaners.
Mr. President, are you going to be speaking to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Israel's renewed defense?
This is just before the question's asked. I'm going to play it out.
Are you going to be asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to turn down the offensive in Gaza to let more aid in?
Was that a question or a statement? This guy's, you never change.
Mr. President, what would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the president.
You sure you want to do that? Okay.
No, seriously. I'd rather have him answer. Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
Our president will respond to you.
He has no idea what's coming.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister.
That will be Ernie Els, call for Ernie Els, Ritev Gustam, and Minister of Agriculture John Steenhuisen.
To their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question. But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait.
Here it comes.
We have thousands of stories talking about it, and we have
documentaries, we have news stories. And is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and I have to. It has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would. And turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do, with or without you. People are going to occupy land. We require no permissions from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. So whatever you want to do, we can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament. Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill, Yamaza, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer.
Yeah. That president of South Africa is not, he's looking too cheery right now, is he?
So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain.
Notice how he's not looking at the video. Trump is, and so is everybody else in the room. But the president of South Africa is looking straight ahead at the cameras and not even acknowledging.
We are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot, kill, Yamasa, kill the brewer, the farmer, kill the brewer, the farmer.
I'm sensing a trend. Are you? That dude does not want to be in that room right now. He does not want to be in that room. He wants to take the first flight and get out of D.C. as fast as possible. Trump had that Folgers ready. He cracked that can open, smelled the fresh roastedness, and poured him a cup. Let's see if I can get to...
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, you to get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter.
Wouldn't have called him a jerk. I'm sure he probably would have.
You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which was a very nice thing, they also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back, you ought to go back to your studio at NBC, because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network. And you're
Chuck, by changing the subject, just got done watching a genocidal video in South Africa, and yet the dude brings up a jet? Ridiculous.
Quiet.
Wow. Ramaphosa said that Trump should hear directly from South Africans and pointed to the 3 white South Africans that he had brought along with him, including golfer Ernie Els, Retief Goosen, as of course I mentioned in the video, and Minister of Agriculture John Steenhuisen. The leader of the Democratic Alliance and opposition party now serves alongside Ramaphosa's African National Congress in the government of national unity. Trump then countered by calling on the video to be played. Ramaphosa said the journalist had to sit through its duration, and Ramaphosa could not respond except by asking Trump for the location of the memorial. My thoughts. I'm going to cut this down a little bit. But anyway, damn. Just damn. This is not the first time that we've seen Trump roast heads of state. Remember that lovely get-together with Captain Sweatpants, Zelensky, with him and, of course, Vice President J.D. Vance as they roasted his ass in regards to showing up at the White House, in a jumpsuit. And, of course, all the nonsense going on with Ukraine and the faux war. And, of course, $200 billion wasted. But anyway, with this, the evidence is clear. This is not hearsay. This is not innuendo. This is not made up. This is not pulling crap out of the sky. This is facts. And this has been going on since the days, how are we talking about? 30 years since Mandela? 35 years since Mandela? When Mandela was freed? And this shit is still going on? Why is this allowable? Why is this allowable? Well, what do you expect? Come on, it's their country. They're, the president has to do things and what have you. Maybe the president should crack that. Yeah, really? So how long has this president of South Africa has been in office? I don't know. I don't know how many years, and I really don't care. But at the end of the day, when you sit there and you allow this shit to go on in your own country, and you don't bring your National Guard in to corral this shit, to crush this shit at the expense and lives of white African farmers. I mean, when you see thousands of white crosses lined up down the roadside, and you have thousands of cars in front of those, basically paying their respects to their families and friends, this is abhorrent. It's absolutely abhorrent. And I don't know what the U.S. is going to do. I don't know what Marco Rubio is going to do as Secretary of State, but something has to be done because this is ridiculous. Lives are being lost here because they just happen to be white who own farmland, and of course the black South Africans. These guys, this guys and this cult want to take it from them at any expense. Wow. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is what's next. Want to see more like this? Please have a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll see you again. Peace.